Today on Profs Huddle, we'll break down how spring sports performed in Florida over the break.
Plus, we'll take a look at how the Profs have stayed hot upon their return to Glassboro. This is Season 6 of Profs Huddle, and Episode 2 starts now. Welcome to Profs Huddle. I'm Elizabeth Hudak.
And I'm Sam Cohen. The baseball team was the first of 3 Rowan squads to make a trip down to Florida for 9 out-of-conference games. The Russ Matt Central Florida Invitational began on Thursday, March 9th, and concluded on Saturday the 18th. The Profs went 6-3 in the land of sunshine, and OJ, their batting gloves must have fit, as they brought in 70 runs and totaled 115 hits in those 9 games, while the pitching staff recorded 57 strikeouts to end the trip.
Rowan University softball's journey to the Panhandle consisted of a dozen matchups in the spring games. The Brown and Gold finished the tournament with 11 wins and only 1 loss. In their 6 doubleheaders, they outscored opponents 71-19, while in Florida, Rowan's pitching shined as they struck out 70 batters throughout the week.
The women's lacrosse team took a trip to the Sunshine State for a pair of games in Central Florida. The team put on a good showing for Rowan Athletics, bombarding their opponents with goals in both matchups. The first game of the trip was on March 15th against the Golden Knights of Clarkson University. The high-powered Profs offense delivered a 21-14 victory as senior Aaron Renshaw and freshman Elena Corson found the back of the net 5 times each. Corson totaled 7 points in this one, and she also added 2 assists to the stat sheet. The second game against Western New England featured more of the same, as Rowan dominated for all 4 quarters. The final margin of victory was 10 goals. Michaela Donnelly and Juliana Corson notched 3 goals apiece in RU's 19-9 win. In the 2 games, goalie Riley Schopp amassed 24 saves on 48 shots.
The track and field team had a great outing this month as they added on to their program's continued success. Here's Profs insider Anthony Camarda, who talked to assistant coach Norm Tate about the transition between indoor and outdoor track and field in Glassboro.
Among Rowan's track and field success over the last few seasons, no group shines brighter than their men's 4x400 relay team. Back in January, the foursome of Jameer Beasley, Nana Aguiman, Marquise Young, and Amara Conti shattered a near 20-year Division III record held by Lincoln during their indoor season this winter. The group looks to assert even more dominance this spring. I had a chance to ask Rowan's assistant coach Norm Tate about what type of camaraderie is needed for the men's relay competition.
The way they've been looking this winter, we expect to win it again. This will be second time I've had a 4x4 repeat. We won outdoors in 2011, 2012, and hopefully, well, not even hopefully, I would bet all my money on the fact that we're going to come back as national champions in the 4x4. Well, it's very important, and this is really a young team, but it's important because in all the races except for the relays, I mean, you're running by yourself. You're still running by yourself, but you're also running as a team.
Thanks, Anthony. There's no debating the success of Rowan's track and field teams. It doesn't seem to matter if they're competing inside or outside. The Profs are regulars on the podium. In the 2022 outdoor season, the men's team took the New Jersey Athletic Conference Championship home to Glassboro for the 20th time in the program's existence. The women's squad finished in 2nd place in their playoff bracket, and they're hungry to come out on top in 2023. The Profs look to repeat their success on both the East Coast and on the national level. The Profs 2023 season will kick off at the Danny Curran Invitational starting this Friday. This 2-day event is the first of several meets for both the men's and women's teams. If you're looking to see them in action, Rowan will be hosting the Oscar Moore Invitational on April 8th, with events split between Richard Wacker Stadium and Rowan University's West Campus facility.
March 21st featured a battle between our home team Profs and the visiting Haverford Fords on the diamond. The Profs got off to a hot start, scoring 2 runs in the first via Ryan Murphy and Chris Curcio's RBI singles. Here in the bottom of the second, Murphy put the Profs on the board early, lining a ground ball down the left field line, advancing Tyler Cannon to third, who would later score in that inning. The Profs never looked back from there. Catcher Brian Galante drew a walk to score another run. This would be the 5th time Rowan crossed the plate in the inning. And man, Haverford was not having a good day as they just watched those Rowan Profs continually round those bases. Jason Morgan hit an RBI single to make it a 10-1 ball game. Jason Morgan or JP Morgan, because he was cashing checks all day, smashing a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 7th to further ensure the Profs' victory. Ryan Murphy said he wasn't done eating either, and he came back for leftovers in the bottom of the 8th inning. He would single up the middle, bringing in 3 more runs for the Profs. Safe to say that this was an easy win for the Profs, who sent the Fords on a quiet bus ride back to Pennsylvania. Rowan takes this one 21-5 by mercy rule. Our Profs standout player of the game was sophomore Jason Morgan, who tallied 5 RBIs and went 2 for 4 on the day, including an RBI single and a late-game 3-run blast. The Profs brought in 21 runs on 20 hits, but the offense wasn't the only reason for celebration. The pitching staff, consisting of starters Zach Grace and relievers Ryan Iovine, Chase Rieger, and Sean Colbert, combined for 8 strikeouts through 8 innings and gave up just 5 runs on 4 hits.
The softball team added 2 more wins to their record last week as the Profs hosted Rosemont College. In Game 1 of the day, Rowan came in clutch for their first set of matches at home. Abigail Pawlowski got the bats going early with a ball hit to left center, which resulted in a stand-up double. Corey Haig lined a ball to the outfield to bring home Pawlowski and put herself on second. Then, utility player Devin DePasquale ripped another ball to left field, which brought home Haig and planted yet another Prof on second base. Rowan scored 4 runs off of 4 doubles in the bottom of the first. Later on, in the bottom of the 6th inning, the Profs led with a score of 8-1. Corey Haig hit a ground ball to right field in between first and second, as she recorded her second RBI of the game. Lamora Jess advanced to second, and McCaffrey scored. Rowan only used 2 pitchers in their 9-1 win at home. Starting pitcher Riley Lutz pitched 4 innings, only allowing 1 hit and striking out 5 batters. The South Jersey native was able to do so in just 50 pitches. In the second game against Rosemont, the Profs started off with another offensive frenzy, but that couldn't come before some great defense by catcher Corey Haig, who threw out a Rosemont runner trying to steal third. That would end the top of the first and send the team to the plate. Sophomore Liz McCaffrey got on base first, reaching on a misplayed grounder to the mound. Following her, Kat Thomas stepped up to the plate and sent this ball over the left field fence to hand Rowan the 2-0 lead. Then, in the 5th, with the bases loaded and a lead of 5-0, Peyton McNair tattooed one over the outfielder's head and off the center field wall. Grace Shakaitis, Gabby Fonalosa, and Devin DePasquale all scored in this 3-run bases-clearing double. That made this a 9-2 game. Rowan scored once more in the 6th and walked away with a 10-2 victory. Now a look at our standout performers from this doubleheader. In the first game, it was all Riley Lutz, who pitched 4 of the 5 innings the Profs were in the field for. She gave up no runs and only 1 hit, and put 5 batters away on strikes. This would be her 7th win of the year, and her 8th win followed shortly after in game number 2. Speaking of game 2, Kat Thomas had a great performance, going 3 for 4 at the plate, including a 2-run home run in the first inning. Thomas leads the Profs in runs batted in with a total of 21 after the midweek sweep of Rosemont. The brown and gold made the game look easy in this doubleheader against the Rosemont Ravens, as they scored a total of 19 runs on 27 hits. Defense was a breeze thanks to the pitching staff, who delivered 9 strikeouts in 12 innings pitched, while allowing just 3 total runs throughout both games.
Let's turn it over again to our Profs insider, Anthony Camarda, who will give us some insight into the awaiting competition on the calendar. Anthony?
Thanks, Sam. Looking ahead, the Profs have a loaded schedule this weekend, as we got both track and field teams kicking off their outdoor season on Friday, March 31st, and Saturday, April 1st, at the 2-day Danny Curran Invitational in Chester, Pennsylvania. Rowan baseball and softball look to start their journeys towards their New Jersey Athletic Conference playoffs. Both clubs will begin their NJAC play with doubleheaders this weekend. Baseball will be at home hosting rival William Patterson. Softball will hop on the bus and head up to Wayne, New Jersey for their doubleheader against also the Pioneers. This weekend's competition closes out with the women's lacrosse team when they face off against Christopher Newport University down in Newport News, Virginia. Profs action will resume on Tuesday, April 4th, when Rutgers Camden visits for a softball doubleheader, and the baseball team plays host to Gwynedd Mercy. Sam?
Thanks, Anthony. And that's all we have for this week's edition of Profs Huddle. Tune in on April 12th as Rowan Sports will reach the midway point in their spring seasons. For the hardworking and talented Profs Huddle crew, I'm Sam Cohen.
And I'm Elizabeth Hudak. See you next time on Profs Huddle.